Thank you so much. Please continue.
All right, motion to,
Calling roll.
okay, motion to approve October 15th, 2024 and November 19th, 2024 meeting minutes. Chair Lindsay,
Aye.
Member Berg, Member Berg,
Member Burke, can you still hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, communication issues. Aye.
Member Bauer,
Yes.
Member Krager,
Yes.
Member Herrera,
Yes.
Member Nakasone,
Yes.
Member Sharantz,
Yes.
Member Schultz,
Yes.
and Member Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 3 on our agenda today is an informational update on the fee increases for the private security entity, private security provider, and private investigator certification and licensure programs presented by Jennifer Howell.
Thank you, Jennifer Howell for the record. So the presentation portion is brief. We wanted to be sure to provide the members of the committee the complete public comment record. So that's what's been published in your packets for today's meeting. With that, you know that we went through the process to complete the fee increases, including the administrative rule change that went into effect on February 1st. So the program is collecting the new fee amounts, and that will remain in place. The final step in the process is part of the legislative process. As part of the budgeting aspect, there's a process where the legislature has to ratify the fee increases. So that will go through this 2025 session. But for the most part, the committee has discussed many of the topics that were outlined within the public comments that were received, as well as the comments that the committee members themselves had identified. So through the past several committee discussions, the information has been reviewed. Thank you.
Oh, you're still muted, Chair Lenzen.
So I shouldn't talk while I'm muted, right? Sorry about that. No, item number 4 is private investigator subcommittee applicant appointment.
Chair Linton, before you get into that, this is Helena Snyder for the record, and I'd like to recuse myself for number 4 and number 5, please.
Noted, thank you.
Chair Lindsay,
Yes.
this is Susie Herring for the record. Would you like me to introduce those 3 applicants?
Yeah, because I'm looking at all my agenda items on my phone and it's a little slow to get to it. So yes, please.
No problem there. Committee members, you were emailed 3 separate applications, and these 3 separate applications were for members of the private investigator subcommittee. So we have openings currently right now, and we also have, as by default, our members here on this committee also serve on the subcommittee. As mentioned in the last 2 meetings that I had, I expressed that we hadn't had a meeting in quite some time. And so we opened up that recruitment again. I did receive 1 new applicant, and then I had previously received 3 applicants. I reached out to all 3 of those applicants, and 2 were still interested. And so those were the 3 total that you received Helena being one. Her current term here with us ends in, let me look here, in July. And so by default, you currently serve on the subcommittee now, and then looking to have her, if approved, moved into one of the vacancies that's there. So that is why we received her application, and we're seeing that today. So it wouldn't be effective until her current term ends here. And then the other two that you received were a James Alistair Odd and Cassandra Ruwalt. So the three individuals here, I would request that we call a separate vote for approval on each one of those, of adding those members to the private investigator subcommittee.
Dan Lenzen for the record. Susie, do we need to just call roll on those items individually?
To make a motion and a second, certainly
Okay.
open for comment, and then we can do the roll call on those.
And do you want to do for form and function, separate motions?
For each individual, yes, I would prefer that, so we can record that.
Okay. And the first individual again is,
Helena Snyder.
oh wait, Helena. Okay. I'm just making sure that I'm following our track here. And then, so can we have a motion on that, please?
Nakasone Adam for the record, I motion.
Second.
Ben Bauer for the record, I second.
Thank you, Ben. Can we call roll?
All right, so this is a motion for private investigator subcommittee applicant appointment, Helena Snyder. Chair Lindsay,
Aye.
Member Byrd,
Member Burr, can you hear us again?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, sometimes my microphone's only working with the camera that's on. Aye.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Hasenkamp,
Vice Chair Hazenkamp, aye.
Member Bauer,
Yes.
Member Krieger,
Yes.
Member Herrera,
Yes.
Member Nakasone,
Yes.
Member Schrantz,
Yes.
Member Schultz,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you
Chair
very
Lin-
much. Yes.
For your second consideration, another applicant, James Alistair Odd.
Thank you. Can we have a motion for consideration, acceptance of the chairperson, the appointment for James Odd?
Matthew Schultz for the record, I moved to motion.
Second.
Got a first and a second. Can we read the motion and call for a vote? Thank you.
So this is a motion for private investigator subcommittee applicant appointment, James Alistair Odd. Chair Lindsay,
Aye.
Vice Chair Hasenkamp,
Vice Chair Hazenkamp, aye.
Member Byrd, Member Byrd,
Are we still having problems? It's gotta be on my end. Can you hear me now? Aye.
Member Bauer,
Yes.
Member Krieger,
Yes.
Member Herrera,
Yes.
Member Nakasone, Member Nakasone,
You're muted.
Now I'm having problems. Yes, Mark Castoni for the record.
Member Schrantz,
Yes.
Member Schultz,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, just the last applicant for consideration, Cassandra Ruwalt.
Can I get a motion for Cassandra, please?
I move the motion.
I second.
Second. Fabulous. Got a motion and a second. Read the name and roll, please.
So this is a motion to approve private investigator subcommittee applicant appointment, Cassandra Rolt. Chair Lindsay,
Aye.
Vice Chair Hasenkamp,
Aye.
Member Byrd,
It's time.
Member Bauer,
Yes.
Member Craig,
Yes.
Member Herrera,
Yes.
Member Nakasone,
Yes.
Member Schrantz,
Yes.
Member Schultz,
Yes.
motion carried.
Love it when the plan comes together. Item number 5, private investigator subcommittee chairperson appoint. Subcommittee chairperson appointment.
Chair Lindsay, this is Susie. I'd be happy to speak to that. So
Yes.
with having the subcommittee set up, it is required to have a chair. And the chair that serves on that subcommittee is one of the private investigator representatives from this policy committee. So today I ask that you guys review the 2 applicants that we have here on the policy committee and make a nomination so that we can get that the subcommittee moving, please.
Okay, let's have that conversation. We have 2 potentials and we can only pick one. Do we have a favorite? Does anyone want to step up on that, or do we need to force the issue? Susie Herring, can you read the names, please? And we can thumbs up, thumbs down then.
So your 2 private investigator representatives on this policy committee are Samantha Schrantz and Helena Snyder.
So let's try this. Samantha or Helena, do you have a preference?
Chair Lindsay, Samantha has a comment.
I had actually reached out about a couple months ago about stepping down come this July and no longer being on the committee. So I don't think it would make any sense for me to be.
Okay, then we have a secret vote for Helena.
Can I also vote for Helena?
I think we need a motion first. Samantha, why don't you make a motion?
All right, I move to make a motion then.
I second the
Good
motion.
second, Zach.
Alright, so this is a motion to approve private investigator subcommittee chairperson appointment, Helena Snyder. Chair Lindsay,
Aye.
Vice Chair Hasenkamp,
Aye.
Member Byrd, Member Berg,
We still having issues.
Member Bauer,
Yes.
Member Krager,
Yes.
Member Herrera,
Yes.
Member Nakasone,
Yes.
Member Strauss,
Yes.
Member Schultz,
Yes.
motion carried.
Congratulations.
Member Bauer, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. I was looking to see, I believe I term out in July as well, and I was noticing that my position is open for recruitment right now, and I was looking to see if I could find the information on the term limits. Because I have to go off for a period, and then am I done permanently, or am I able to apply in the future? I just wanted to ask.
Susie Herring for the record, we could send you the bylaws on that, then for sure.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Thank you. I was looking for him and was having trouble finding him.
Okay.
Okay, continue with item number 6, please, agency update.
Sure. Susie Herring for the record. I have a few things to share with you. I think some of which you may have seen through some Gov delivery messages that we've sent out. I'm sorry. Yes, please.
Keep going.
Okay. Sent Gov delivery messages out regarding how current we are with the applications for all programs. Staff has done a wonderful job. Those of you that have been around have known we've had 3 months, 4 months backlog, and prior to our ice storm, we were current to date. And so staff is working on those as they come in. Yes, thank you for the applause for them. It's well deserved for them. And then, as Ben mentioned, we do have some people that are terming out on the policy committee. And so we are currently recruiting for those positions so that we don't have any extra vacancies. And we do have 2 that are still wide open, which is public member and retail. I also wanted to touch base with you on some of the things that we spoke about in the last couple of meetings. We were talking about entities and the foreign entities, and currently staff is now recording that information. So we would be able to provide that data in the future for the policy committee when asked. Let's see, committee members received an email from us regarding the armed conversation that we had a couple meetings back, and there was a Survey Monkey that was sent out, and Steve is collecting all that data, and we'll come back and have a further conversation once we receive all of that information from the members. And I appreciate those that have already replied thus far. That's very helpful. And there are some things that we're still working towards. We obviously are appointing the subcommittee for the PI and getting that moving because we had about 4 items there to finish a conversation about. And then as far as the endorsements, that was one point of conversation from a previous meeting as well. I will be working with Jennifer. Her and I have had some conversation, but we are in the middle of session or beginnings of session. And so we will be working towards reviewing the ability to look at that and what our allowances is through the statute and what we're able to do with that or rule. And then you'll also see coming out soon an update on the remote authorization process. Just making that very clear to instructors, students, and frankly, staff as well, how we process those remote authorizations and when we're getting PS6s in from remote instructors. And then lastly, we've got Carissa, she's heading, well, Carissa and I most likely heading Friday to the Oregon Festival and Event Association She will be speaking there for one session, so I don't know if any of you will be attending, but we will see you there if you are. And I will turn it over to Director Castle.
Thank you. Phil Castle for the record. We'll have just a pretty quick update and then I will turn it over to Kathy. And speaking of Kathy, I do want to announce that Kathy has been appointed as the Deputy Director for DPSST. Our former Deputy Director, Bill Steele, has retired. We'll miss him, but now we have Kathy, and we're very lucky. And she's going to stay with Professional Standards for a little while until we determine what we're going to do for a new director over Professional Standards. So that's probably going to take a little bit of time to do. So she's agreed to work with me yet again. We keep getting lucky to keep her. And sorry to have to pull her away from Professional Standards, but she'll still be here in the division. Like every state agency, we are in the throes of legislative session. It is quite busy for DPSST. We are mentioned in a whole lot of bills out there. Some of them are quite aspirational. So we've been spending plenty of time at the Capitol. We are slated to testify about our financial bill, which is House Bill 5032 on April 21st and 22nd. That will be happening. This will be my first time testifying to our financial bill. It's 2 days, so it sounds riveting. I would invite you all to watch that testimony for sure. We have two bills that DPSST brought. Did you already read these? Two bills that DPSST brought forward to the legislature. They're relatively minor. Both of them fall on the Professional Standards side. One of them is a technical fix for how we appoint the Fire Policy Committee, a member on the Fire Policy Committee. And the other one is a jurisdictional fix for a non-certified person, and an example of that would be a recruit who does not graduate the academy, so is not certified, but yet may have a moral fitness violation. And what happens currently with DPSST's jurisdiction there is we lose it as soon as they lose their employment. So if someone fails out of the academy in just about any discipline, and the agency chooses to terminate that employee, then DPSST loses jurisdiction in order to adjudicate that potential moral fitness violation. This fix, and it's House Bill 2926, gives us the ability so that we can adjudicate that case, and the employee themselves can request it as well. And what that does is it lets them know right away what the board or policy committee recommends, what the board ultimately decides, so they can start living out that whatever penalty they may face, or maybe a no action. It lets them move on. And right now we have about 158 of those folks in purgatory that we kind of call it, where we're unable to action and resolve. So those two have been heard already. They are going to the main floor with due pass recommendations, which is good news for us. But there's lots and lots of session left to go. Lots of things out there that we'll be focusing on. Pending your questions, I will turn it over to the Deputy Director.
Thank you, Director. Again, Catherine Calpine for the record. All I'm going to do is just take a pause yet again to go back to that backlog. When I first heard it, I'd only been here a year, so it's like, okay, what does that really mean? How significant? And as Susie mentioned, historically, that's never happened, 3 to 4 months. So it is worthy of recognizing her leadership and then the folks that do this every day, and to know how important it is to try and get that backlog. And the fact that they did that heavy lifting, and we recognize the team appropriately, but just again want to appreciate that. And then again, as Susie laid out, that constant communication with the committee, that you have been heard, your concerns, and how we're processing those through. Is something that Susie and I both have committed to, and we hope that you see that we are committed, and we're continuing to update you on the progress that we have made and will continue to make. And other than that, that's concludes my update.
Director Castle, will you do me a quick favor? Can you address the HB 2183, I think it is, the former law enforcement item?
I can do this if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, Chair Linson. Jennifer Howell for the record. House Bill 2183. It's been introduced and it hasn't been scheduled yet, but it would direct DPSST to adopt rules that if the applicant was a certified police officer, that they'd be able to obtain their certification through refresher courses and examinations instead of taking full training. DPSST.
Fabulous. Good.
That DPSST as a state agency takes no position on bills. So.
Copy that. And I know that we've had, as an editorial, we've had conversations many a years where people potentially with the experience would like to be able to do that. And I think that we have some challenges of getting some folks on board. So that may expedite some folks. And then can we get a description on, I think it's 2551. Is that the campus safety one?
It is, Chair Linson, Jennifer Howell for the record, House Bill 2551 directs public universities to contact DPSST to receive background information about an applicant who's an applicant for a special campus commissioned special campus security officer. Now, those individuals are not subject to the certification requirements for private security providers. This would just be having those employers contact DPSST to obtain background information.
Yeah, thank you. And as far as Chair Linson again, and what I wanted to do was amplify some of these things for some of the committee here so that you know that there's, is it 5 things in session this time?
I would say really just 4, Jennifer, for the record. 2 and House Bill 2153, House Bill 2551. There's another concept, it's the same concept in both the Senate and the House regarding the definition of a private security entity. And then there's the agency bill for the fee process.
Good. Thank you. And it's important for us to also understand that we are a group, a committee that makes recommendations, and that some of the real work occurs right there with the division, the director, and with Susie Herring. And there's a lot that happens that we would love to see happen. And so right now, if y'all want to follow those bouncing balls, if you wrote them down, there's a lot happening for us in private security. So anyway, passing that along is some education and some knowledge. And so if there is no other items.
Chair Linson, Jennifer Howell, if I may. Thank you. So as I had stated before, DPSST as a state agency takes no position on bills. That also extends to the board and the board's policy committees. So as a committee, the committee cannot take a position on a bill. So if you do choose to engage in a legislative committee on a bill with testimony or anything like that, please be sure to do so as your individual person or your business person, but not as a representative of the PSIPC. We have to get special approval through the governor's office to make a position that represents the state. Thank you.
Fabulous. And Chair Linson again, and I really appreciate that clarification to these things, because I know this is a group of folks that, through the years comes and goes, and, as far as the knowledge base. And I think that this is a group of folks that really wants to track things and make a difference where they can. So knowing that there's a line, that we need to keep that line is very important. Is there any other items for today? No, then our next regularly scheduled meeting is May 20th at 1:30. Let's conclude the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very-
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Wow, I don't everybody was thinking that, sorry.